If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves. If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you, will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea. If you were a river in the mountains tall, the rumble of your water would be my call. If you were the winter, I know I'd be the snow, just as long as you were with me when the cold winds blow. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you, will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea.
Not unfortunately, but at a bar. So that was, there's a joke that when people say, how did we meet? I say at a bar. And she gets mad because it sounds trashy, but it's true / you know, there's more to the story.
It's very random. Judy called and said, like, do you want to go out with my school friends? And I said yes, which I don't usually say yes, but they were meeting close to my house. It was a block and a half away, so I said yes.
When I first saw her, I was like, okay. I was like, I gotta talk to her.
There was a bunch of people there, and I ended up sitting like next to Judy, and you know, like introduced me to a few people, and Tim was one of them, and he's not gonna want me to talk about this, but I don't really remember talking to him that much. I like remember him trying to lean in to try to talk to me, but I had this vision of him trying to lean over Judy to talk to me, but he was on the side of me, and the boy sitting across from me was really good looking. And I remember like Tim trying to lean into the conversation, and it was darling.
Here, and so like it was hard for me to make conversation with Rachel, but I knew like my job, or not my job, but my like determination for that night was to talk to her. And I talked over people, I talked over conversations. I was like slightly rude to try and engage with her. I did.
Shanna and I were having a Shabbat dinner at our house the next day, and so I said, well, I'll invite all these people and maybe the cute boy across from me will come.
And then eventually she invited everyone to Shabbat dinner the next day. It was like, I guess, and she invited everyone, which I didn't know what that meant. I just took it as meaning I'm invited. I went. I'm the only one that actually went, and that's how the whole thing started.
Then I think I invited everybody for 7:15 for Shabbos dinner on Jewish time. People will come at 7:45, except for Tim Bechtel, who showed up at like 7:15 before anybody else with grape leaves. And so I remember thinking like, oh, that's so nice that he came. Like, this is sweet, but I don't really know him.
And it was uncomfortable because I tried to talk to her and she just didn't seem interested, so I was a little uncomfortable. So I was about to leave because I just felt so uncomfortable and I just didn't know anybody, and Rachel was sitting on one of these couches talking to one of her friends, a guy friend, and so I said goodbye to Judy and other people, and then I went to say goodbye to them, and I was like, hey, it was nice to meet you, to the guy, and he was like, you're leaving? He's like, no. He's like, sit down, and he kind of like threw me down. He didn't throw me down, but he like said, sit down. I was about to leave and say goodbye forever. Like I was never gonna talk to Rachel. Like I wasn't gonna do it because she didn't seem interested.
That people decided to go back to Danny's, the place where we had been the night before, and I said, okay, fine, let's go to Danny's. And we went, and we ended up sitting like in a different like back corner and talking, and talking about Philadelphia, and I was like, oh, he's kind of interesting. He's nice. He'll be a really nice friend.
We talked for a while about Philly again, and like I don't even remember. She did the hand thing where I could barely hear her, and she's like talking like this, and I said, I'm pretty shy, but I think I asked for her number.
He said, you want my number, I think. And I was like, no, I won't call you. I was like, why don't you take my number? You can call me. I didn't want to take his number because I knew I wasn't going to call him. The first kiss is funny because it took a long time, and that's why I went through like, are we friends? Are we just friends? Okay. I don't think we're just friends because he calls me like every day. And I wasn't sure how I felt either. I didn't know if I like wanted to be friends or more, and I remember saying to Shanna one night like, well, if we just kiss, then I'll know if I like him or not. And after we went back to my house to watch a movie, Match Point, and I sat down, and Tim like didn't know where to sit. He was pretty unsure, and I couldn't tell you anything that happened in that movie. I think we were both so nervous. But he sat down, and then like he tried to hold my hand, and he like went and touched my hand and then picked his hand up like it was boiling hot.
She thinks I like went like this and like was so scared, but I don't even remember what happened, quite honestly. I was so anxious.
And he was so like scared, and I was like, okay, somebody here needs to man up a little. So then he tries again, and he's like, holds my hand and then picks it up real quick. It was pretty funny. So finally he got more comfortable. He actually held my hand for like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, we're good. So then I knew that he probably wasn't gonna be the one initiating anything because he could barely hold my hand, and we were almost 30 years old, but that's okay. And he's gonna say that he was going to initiate it, and that he really was, but I didn't give him a chance, but I gave him like 18 dates.
So I knew I had to kiss her and leave, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to leave. So the movie ends, and I guess I get my stuff on, and I'm like, okay, well, and then she says something, I can't remember what she says, and then she takes the lead, and so totally steals my thunder, even though I wasn't the smoothest in the road in the first place.
And so I said, well, maybe we should kiss. And then so we did. And then I was like, oh, he's nice. He's nice. And he will swear that he initiated it and that he was going to.
But I knew my intention was to do it. And she claims that she was the one that initiated the kiss. And so we will fight about this for the rest of our lives. And she still thinks I wasn't going to do anything, but So anyway, that was our first date. And it was not the most romantic of them all. We were both sort of a nervous wreck. But it was worth it.
We went to Earwax, and Tim ordered something with fries. We were sitting there, and the food came, and I like went to go take a bite of his French fry, and he turned his plate so that the French fries were facing me. And it was just like the most beautiful, like he didn't say anything. It was just so easy, but like in that moment, I think I like opened myself up for the possibility of wanting to be with him, because it's such a little gesture, but it was so thoughtful and so caring and so nice, and just like how Tim is, not gonna say anything, he's just gonna make it easy for me.
But I think I mean, like I said, from that first time I saw her, I there's something about her, and I claim to have this ability to read people's eyes, even though Rachel will say I don't look at people in the eyes. But there's something about her that I must have picked up on, and I knew from that first time I saw her at Danny's that she was special. So, and then when and then talking to her, and then just I knew that I had to pursue her. So I guess you could say that I knew it from the first time I saw her.
I think we already feel married. Tim's my family. It will just feel like how it feels now, which is easy and nice, and I feel like we already made that commitment to each other. And it's really nice to think about having everyone we love in one place and supporting us and there to kind of strengthen our grounding to our community. I think that will feel really nice. But I feel like Tim and I are there.
Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't feel like it's a huge step ahead. I think it's just something that makes sense because I don't see myself being with anyone else. I don't see any reason to think twice about it. So I feel like I want to be with her forever, and this will solidify that and make it formal and start a life together. And it just seems like it makes like nothing else would make more sense, and it just feels completely, I hate to use the word comfortable because but it just feels natural.
Of love is long and boring.
Like, he's just so humble, and he has reason not to be. I mean, he could be, he could not be. He's wonderful, he's amazing, he's so good at what he does. He's so smart. But he doesn't want to shove it in your face or tell you about it. He just wants to, that's just him. And when I'm with Tim, like when we're just, it's quiet. It doesn't have that like frenetic energy. It just feels peaceful. So when I'm with Tim, it feels like taking a deep breath.
In fact, that's where music comes from. Some of it's just transcendental. Some of it's just
a beautiful smile, beautiful big eyes, beautiful big bright teeth. She's very smart, she's very kind, and she makes me feel like, like I can do anything. She makes me feel amazing. She has a pretty intuitive grasp of people in her profession. So she's, I would say, a genius in what she does, and that's really admirable to be with somebody who's so skilled and talented. She's easygoing, and she's just I love her.
The book of love is long and boring, and written very long ago.
On this day, we pledge to honor our vibrant love, to nurture and protect it. Our lives, enriched by our unique traditions and faiths, will embody trust, constancy, and compromise.
We will cherish and sustain each other, meeting life's trials with quiet strength and courage. and embracing life's blessings with wonder, joy, and laughter.
We will grow as individuals and delight in an elegant freedom born from mutual respect.
May there be peace in our home. May we be blessed with good fortune, health, and happiness.
And may our devotion to each other ennoble us.